somebody has to make this video and somebody has to be absolutely honest about what's happening in the industry and reasons why 99% of people are losing money. And I will use my personal example and the example of people that I know in the industry. And I will just begin by saying that you can even ask yourself, quite frankly, it's going to be a different type of an approach here, that why are you in this industry? Why do you come to crypto? Most people will say that they want to make 10x, 20x, 30x. They want to make life-changing money. And it's fine. It's possible. In the previous bull run, if you guys have been following me for long enough, you've seen me make my first 1.5 million. It was years ago. In 2021, I've sold my first crypto portfolio and pulled out $1.6 million out of 80,000. So I did 20x. So I'm not going to be here sitting and saying, oh, you should be counting on S&P 500 returns of 12% a year on average, barely outperforming inflation. No, but I want to tell you the truth. A lot of the people that come to crypto, to general trading, what they think about the industry, they think that there is two things. They think there is either active trading, means that they're just trading futures with high leverage and they're trying to turn their $1,000 into whatever amount of money. And then there is the second type of people that just come there, they buy some coins, and sometimes they're just buying horrific coins, which sometimes I've done myself. Some of the coins I've bought are just dead. But the good thing is, and the proper thing is, that I've done it with like 0.5% of my entire deposit. That's basically the difference. But we'll get into all of this. So there's two types of people, and they think that there is only two things you can do in crypto. Okay, three. You can just buy and hold Bitcoin. You can buy and hold some shitcoins just to make 100 million X, or you just do active trading. But in reality, and this is sad truth that nobody's going to tell you, and same thing is basically in Forex. It's not as relevant to Forex, but it is to the stock market, kinda. Especially those Forex trading gurus that are showing you those challenges. Oh, look, I'm trading with $100 and I'm trading to, 3 million in 3 months. Come on, are you fucking shitting me? I mean, it's not just improbable, it's statistically and mathematically impossible. Just go and talk to ChatGPT. Tell them a story you've seen online and ask ChatGPT how replicable that is in active trading, and you will see what it's going to tell you. That statistically and mathematically, it's absolutely fucking impossible. And then you're there, oh yeah, I'm going to buy that Forex course, I'm going to get rich. Yeah, there's this guy, whatever. So I will tell you what these guys will never tell you. I'll be absolutely honest. These are the things I've never discussed in social media because people find this to be very boring. I don't know how many people are going to watch this video till the end, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I only care about the people that are actually interested in understanding the truth, and they will finish watching this video completely, and they will transform their understanding of this industry in general, which is going to save them years of time, and it's going to save them also probably a lot of money too. So I'm going to use my example here. You know what? Let me use John as an example. People, always look at me as, a guy in a Bugatti, all this. I'll use John as an example, and he's a real person, by the way. John is an owner of an HFT fund, so high frequency trading fund. And just because a little bit of background, why I know all these things is because I'm not just a trader. I started with trading, and subsequently, quickly, I've graduated to so many other things, also founding my own hedge fund, which is Crawler Capital, which is a private SEC-regulated fund in the United States, mostly my own capital and a couple of small investors. But what we do is very different from what retail does. You can also, if you don't believe me, you can go to ChatGPT, you can ask it, oh, Thomas said this and this, is this true? And you can ask ChatGPT, it's going to confirm everything I'm going to say now. There is not a single hedge fund that just comes to the market and trades futures with 50x leverage. Why? Because it is statistically improbable to make anything in this way. It's just true. Why that is, I will explain why. Statistically, for trading to be really great, the market needs to move. There has to be volatility. Even on a very basic fundamental level, 80% of the time, the market is flat. It's not doing anything. And it looks like it's trying to do something, but most of the time it's just noise. And that noise is statistically not just improbable, but impossible to predict because it's nothing but noise. And there are people trying to trade all these triangles. Sometimes triangles work. I'm not shitting on technical analysis. I'm not shitting on traders. Trading is great. It's not bad. Hedge funds also do it, but they do it with maybe 2% of the money. 2%. Same as me. All the trades I'm showing on social media, like active trades, On some of them, I've lost big amounts of money. Overall, I've made money from trading, but this is the most unstable thing you can imagine. So, and I was always focusing more on trading when the market permits. So when it's in the zone of those 20% of active market. The rest of the time, if you're going to be, and it's just statistically proven, it's just not my opinion, it's mathematical, it's math, it's numbers. If you're going to be really focused on active trading in a market phase when it's not a great thing to do, you're going to end up either breaking even or losing money altogether and saying the trading is gambling. But it's not gambling. You're doing it at the wrong time. But then you're going to be asking yourself, or me, like, Thomas, okay, what the fuck am I going to do then, in this whole time of prolonged consolidations or, negative market, etc. There are so many instruments in this market that most people, all these traders, don't even understand. 98% of my capital right now is either in long-term investments, which is probably one of the safest things to do, even despite of short-term volatility, or there are in two types of tools: passive income tools or the so-called over-the-counter deals, as well as early-stage investments. So let's break these down bit by bit. Certainly, I don't need to tell you about accumulating proper assets during market downturns and doing it when everybody else is scared. It's not difficult to make money in this way when time is on your side. Certainly, using trading when the market is in those 20% of volatility is also not bad. But what my main focus is also on passive income. For example, there is a way of making upwards of 100% annually. And this method, I can even tell you for absolutely free what that method is. It's called funding rate arbitrage. And please don't confuse it with regular arbitrage. If somebody tells you about, arbitrage, buy on one exchange, sell on the other, those are scammers. Funding rate, just regular arbitrage doesn't work for many years at this point, unfortunately, because all these imbalances have come down to high frequency trading. So these are the algorithms that do this at this point. And sometimes it takes, if your algorithm is not at 0.005 second time frame or whatever, it's not going to work. So at this point, it's all, quantum computers, almost like, it's not quantum computers, it's like algorithmic trading, but this is what HFT funds do. So arbitrage doesn't really work much. But funding rate arbitrage is when you're farming the funding rate, and it really also depends on the volatility of the market. Right now, it's producing like 12 to 15% annual return, but there is no risk. You're not really predicting the market, and it's also not staking, so you're not holding the asset that can go up or down in price. All you do is you're using inverse futures. You can also talk to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is going to explain what it is. And you basically, the only risk there is that if the exchange dies, if it goes belly up. Certainly, besides this, and sometimes upwards of 100% return. Literally, like when the market is at its peak, when the funding rate is crazy, you can literally double your money in a year with zero risk. This is what we do. This is what smart people do. And then we reinvest the money, use it in different tools. Also, the same thing is liquidity pools, staking. It's not as great as funding rate arbitrage, especially in the highly volatile market, but nonetheless, this is where my money is. And especially right now, a lot of my millions of dollars is in this stuff, plus the accumulation of proper, great assets in my long-term and medium-term portfolios, and some short-term trends. Sometimes paying attention to meme coin trends. Right now, not the trend. Certainly, at some point, is going to be the AI trend, RWA, DeFi, and you're kind of swinging your money, but only a portion of your capital, from one sector to the other, and kind of pushing that profit delta a bit higher, slowly, bit by bit. So this is one aspect. Another aspect that we're focused on is over-the-counter deals. And now we're getting into the stuff that most people don't even understand how it is and how to access this stuff. There is some public offerings like, private stuff, but mostly it's all going to be either bad valuations, or it's going to be very limited, or it's going to be just mostly 99% shit projects. The OTC deals I'm talking about is basically when you're purchasing coins from a project at a discount. In this way, I've done a bunch of really cool deals. I've done IOTA, I've done Wormhole, I've done also previously Toncoin. So many of them have given us discount from anywhere from 30% to 40, 50, or even 60% from the market price. So it's the coins that are actually being traded on the market, on an exchange, but they give you a deal. How do you access this? Well, the reason why I've been building so many things and opening so many doors is because the more doors you open, the more opportunities there are. And just through sheer luck of us creating Evadex and really working on it so hard, now we have access to top tier funds, to big networks, to really powerful people in the industry that oftentimes literally throw in some deals saying, Thomas, do you want to participate? And it's pretty freaking amazing. So sometimes it depends on, it goes from, it really depends on the deal. So sometimes there is a lockup period. Mostly in OTC deals, there's always going to be a lockup period from 3 to 6 months. So, and then when you understand the general tendency of the market, certainly there is still risk, but you're getting a good project, a good coin at a big discount. So you already have an advantage over retail, which is insane, isn't it? So, and in this sense, those who are buying from the market, even Toncoin, we bought it at, when it was $1.30, we bought it for $1, so a 30% discount. Then it went to $8, we had 8x. Those who were lucky enough to buy it off of the market had only 6x. So not a big difference you would think, but these things add up. And then when somebody has minus 30% on a portfolio, we have plus 12%. So there you go. This is what the advantage looks like. I'm just randomly pulling up the numbers, but I'm just trying to illustrate the advantage of a system that is used by smart people. And then certainly one of the best things that we do, a lot of our capital is allocated to early stage investments. So for example, we have analysts in my team in Evadex and Crollo Capital, where we always are searching the market for amazing, promising projects in L1, in L2, in DeFi. It can be RWA, it can be AI. Sometimes it used to be meme coins as well. Now we don't do those anymore. And we are investing into the projects at an early stage before they even come out. How? Well, through our network. And not all of the projects do well. On some of them we lose money, of course. There is no fucking magic anywhere. But we also gain advantage. Some of the projects will literally explode. We've made some crazy returns on some projects. So, and in this way, we also have some huge advantage over retail, over those who just come there to trade futures and they're trading during the whole entire 100% of the time and then lose money. And then the money goes where? It goes to hedge funds. It goes to asset managers, all the people like myself that understand how it all works and use it to our advantage. And we use the system which is constructed of different tools that are being used at correct times. And this, guys, statistically, you can ask ChatGPT. It will tell you that most hedge funds, they even do even more than this. They also do brokerage stuff. They also have intermediary fees that they, man, it's crazy. It's like, it's so diversified. If you think it's all about just trading literally candles and putting on flags and technical analysis, my friends, you know nothing about this industry. So therefore, this is something that nobody's going to tell you because most of this stuff people don't even know about. And if you know about this, you should be using this because this is how you can leverage this whole industry to your advantage and gain a small advantage, which is going to be enough to really, over the long term, for your strategy to be replicable and something that you can use always from one cycle to the next cycle. And this is something that I was able to achieve through building of vast network of big connections, of real trial and error for the last 10 years that I'm in trading in general. I'm not in crypto for 10 years, but in trading for about 11 years now. So a lot of mistakes that I've made. And this is what we're going to start actually in more depth discussing today at our online event that we're putting together for our followers. So on 7th and 8th of May at, I believe, 8 p.m. Dubai time and 6 p.m. Central European time, access to which is in the bio, in the description of this video, so you can come join us. And I'm going to be discussing all these tools and how it's done properly. If you're here just to have a random luck and just gamble at the casino, like with futures and stuff, and try to make that Lambo money, go do it. And if you are one of those one person out of 100, so you're in that 1% who just literally gets lucky, great job. But as soon as you make some money, pull it out because the luck will at some point stop. And the only people who will make it long-term in this industry and will build generational wealth and will actually pass on something replicable to their children are the ones who will understand how smart money works. And I'm not just talking about trading, smart money, ICT stuff, whatever. It actually has the same faults we've already discussed. The only way of building generational wealth is a combination of tools and the understanding of when to use what. So come join us on this event. It's going to be super useful. And let me know that in the comments, what do you guys think? Because I'm being absolutely honest. A lot of people think that Thomas Crowley is just a trader. I used to be just a trader, but I have realized the reality of pure naked trading long ago, and I've been always honest about it. The only people who really are rich in this industry, they don't do just trading. They do some of it, but it's all comes in a combination of the right tools, the right time. See you at the event.